Okay, Aries. So just starting out, I did pull the clarifiers, but currently it looks like there's a lot of worry for you on the home front. The concern with Nine of Swords does indicate that it is pretty significant, whatever it is that you're dealing with. There could be a little bit of drama around you at this time because that is certainly a number of challenge. There's also something very significant around, obviously, the worry and the anxiety that's really bringing up a lot of mental anguish for you. So there's a lot of concern in that direction. There may be sleepless nights, there may be things around a deeper level of sadness, but it seems to be a lot of anxiety that's just making you feel a little bit hopeless around a situation that could be, again, in around the home front. Could also indicate that there is a Libra or something present here as well, but either way, it just feels like you feel like you might have your hands tied in a situation because there's some sense of feeling vulnerable, feeling hopeless, and again, maybe having difficulty sleeping and all of that too. But there's something that's very real that you feel some sense of disaster around. However, I will say none of these are major arcana that are in a negative way. There are, except for I will say the moon card is out here. So I'm not saying that the concerns emotionally are not real for you. There's certainly huge elements around that. There's a lot of things that do sort of support that in terms of, things around family, things around not feeling like you have a real grasp or ability to control the situation. So either way, I would say that there's some negative emotions that would be clouding your judgment in this period of October. So again, it's some sense of dread or torment, but it's also, you doing this to you. There's nothing real specific to any tower moment coming in or anything really impacting you from the external. Other than I will say there are some battles that are, showing up here with a bit of jealousy and around the family dynamic. Hi, Sansha. But there is definitely something here very significant around family matters that is a little bit beyond your control. I would say that for this period in October. So I would say there's a number of challenges. Don't get me wrong, but I would that overall you're holding your own because it does end up in a card of give and take and justice here. So there is some semblance of order. There is some sense of I will do a couple of questions just at the end because my power on my phone isn't always all that horrendous. Like it's anyway, but for the most part, one initially is just for Aries for the month of October. But I will answer a couple of questions for whoever toward the end, given how much time is left on my power. But anyway, as I said, Aries, I feel you are going through a certain level of panic or confusion in the month of October. And high measured. So anyway, I would just say right now you're feeling some serious pressure that's going on. Like I said, more self-induced, nothing that's a direct obstacle for you in the month of October, but it's not, not to say that you shouldn't acknowledge the feelings. It's definitely kind of speaking to, feeling a lot of more anxiety than disappointment here. It's more confrontational, a little bit more along that line than, dripping with sadness. It's not quite like that. It's more along the lines of, kind of dealing with, shadow work, dealing with the subconscious. It's all of that. And especially when I see the moon card coming out with, with card following, there's definitely some elements there that really need to be worked through. However, on the upside, the fact that we have the Four of Wands out here and the Justice card, those definitely speak to balancing out the wrongs or balancing out the injustice or balancing out, whatever it is that, and hi, Nana. Yeah, I will answer those questions just at the end for sure. But I just don't want to lose track here with the Aries reading. But I definitely feel like there is something here about finding some kind of foundation, stable and solid, and it will balance out. So for all the worry, for all the concern and the things that you're really, really delving deep into in terms of your own psyche, and again, the subconscious, I'm going to say that for the most part, I see that you are going to find a sense of being grounded again in this period. I would say that you are going to feel safe around the home front. Again, if for any reason there you felt that there was going to be a breakup or some kind of court matter or something like that, I just feel like you are going to be in a better space. So you're just dealing with the minor minutia this period. And again, it's more on the emotional side of things. So for sure, there's something here that kind of speaks to there being, maybe bills or something that are building up. I don't see a lot in terms of pentacles. I do see that there is definitely just a lot of you in your head. There's a lot of worry. So I'm not going to say that I see you making leaps and bounds of progress in the immediate, and it feels like this could be going a little further because this energy is still pretty strong around your, possibly around health matters and that kind of thing here as well. But I just feel like there is still improvements being made in this period in October for you. So again, the fact that you feel like you're moving in the wrong direction or something is out of your control or things are not going well, I feel like you are firm in your foundation. So everything's pretty good there. Like I said, you just need time and space for yourself to sort of move your head in a different direction. So, and that's why I think overall there's some other cards here that I pulled on the side that speak to making a choice. So I feel like you are concerning yourself with matters that may be in your control. And the fact is that when you make a choice, to sort of release that, I feel like you will be able to overcome whatever the difficulty is. It does feel like you're overcoming it regardless. But again, there's still some things to be worked through because this is a little heavier energy with the Nine of Swords, the Death card, and the Moon card. So the Moon card is the one that's the major arcana, and following that is the Death card. But the Moon card is the one that you're currently in. So there is something here about rising to the challenge here. So I would say, sorry guys, just give me a second. Sorry guys, just lost control of my camera there for a minute. So this is actually just, I'm sorry about that. I just had to kind of move the vehicle. I had a little issue there. Okay, so going back into the Moon card. So this does actually speak to there being an issue that's in around, like I said, a lot of your emotions are what you're dealing with at this period. So nothing that's directly any blockage. The fact that we have you sort of in your head, and I don't know if this is really more of a mental breakdown or um, having some kind of overwhelming situation that you don't feel like you control. Like I said, this is maybe where you can seek some advice, but we're going to get some advice cards out here too, just to kind of get a sense of where that's headed, because the Moon card definitely is indicating that you are sort of struggling. So, like I said, if you are dealing with something that you need to really reflect on, I would say that this is that period where you need to really take a look at what's real and what you're manifesting in your head, because there's something here that kind of speaks to, you're being used by possibly thinking that there is death up ahead. I'm not saying that there is a death because I don't see that, but because everything seems balanced, saying that it's almost like either you were overly concerned about the end of something, a situation where you don't feel like you have enough control over something. So you're moving into some kind of a phase in your life where you're feeling like there is a level of insecurity. There's a level of worry around family. There's definitely something here that you're not seeing in its complete true light. It's like a reflection of, because that's what the moon is, it's partial light. So it's like a reflection of what potential is going on, but it doesn't mean that it's 100% captured. That's the reality of the situation. So I would say that this is going to take some courage to kind of face your fears in the period of April, because you need to kind of there's definitely something here about an overwhelming amount of anxiety or fear driven thoughts. And so because of that, you have to boil it down to how do you get back to logic and reason? You talk yourself down. Cancer could also be relevant in this period here, but water sign definitely significant. But I feel like there is kind of a lack of emotional clarity is what I would say there. Now, in terms of your relationships, I feel like this is an indicator that your relationships are kind of through a phase at this time. So there's something here where the relationships are, you're coping, but it's almost like you're coping through the disappointment. You're coping through what the illusions were. You're coping through the things that you thought were real, and and you're finding out that it's not quite entirely as you had hoped it to be. So you're coping very well, or not very well, but you're coping. You're coping well enough that that you're starting to see that there are some other alternatives here. Because again, you have a little bit of light here, so you're starting to see there's some other alternatives here. You're getting second opinions, even if there's something that's health related, whatever that is for you. It just feels like there's something here where you can actually find a viable solution to be able to move ahead. And it's almost part of that would be accepting that situation of an end, because the death card is also speaking to something has to change, or that there is a change about, and this is a difficult change for you to really accept. And it's not so much that it's right upon you, but it's something that you're thinking about that you're having to deal with before maybe it actually has to happen, or something like that. So again, it's a period of growing and outgrowing people or things or a thought pattern, because you're really trying to explore how to put something behind you is what's happening there. So again, whatever changes were scaring you here, it's like the situation is going to start to improve, because there's a certain level of acceptance going on here. Even in terms of, letting go of the familiar. And that's always difficult, because we get it in our head how things should be, how someone should act, how things should play out, because of the effort or time or energy that we put into something. But in actual fact, it's never really quite as we expect it to be. And so, because everybody has their own agenda or their own motivation or their own sense of a vision, and it may very well differ from ours. Generally it would, but there are points that connect up. But the point is it's helping you to see the truth in a situation and to make a decision, based on that, whether you want to go forward with it, or, and accept it for the way that it is, or, you're going to actually leave because it's not quite, measuring up to what you were hoping for. So it's again, weighing out the cost analysis of things, the loss benefit sort of thing, right? So again, it's almost like, do you begin again? Because again, the death card is something, there was a level of illusion that you were sort of believing something to be, and that is now coming to an end cycle. So you're in the space of accepting it or making a change there. The fact that we have the Justice card out here does indicate that there is something here about, again, for some of you, it might be a court issue or something legal or contractual, but either way, there's some kind of balance that's being restored here. So there's almost more of a give and take. Again, could be Gemini, Aquarius energy here, but there's something here that kind of speaks to there being more of even a divine direction that's going to help to sort of move forward. So it's almost creating a worldly fortune for them, because the Wheel of Fortune card is further out here. But again, right now you're not currently in that energy. In the month of October, it feels like you're just really reflecting on a lot of the emotional states that concern you at this time. So again, you could be getting some legal documents up ahead here, because there is going to be some fortuitous lucky situations. And again, it could be even in terms of it could be in terms of a marriage, although I'm not really seeing the Lover's card out here, but whatever it is, I feel like there's more reciprocity. There's more of a give and take in a situation. So I would say that there's a bit of a turning point ahead for you, because you have an end cycle that you're currently struggling with. That's not even quite in that full energy yet. So that's going to be a little further out. Again, we don't make our decisions to, deal with relationships all in a couple of weeks and it's done, dealt with. I mean, we usually ponder these things for a period of time before you sort of arrive at some of your final conclusions. So like I said, it's like you're trying to get yourself grounded again. You know, there is a level of stability here that is coming in, but it's almost like I said, we're having to sort of discover what your limits are, where you can liberate yourself, and what it is that is helping you to, you know, get out of this rut. Because it's like your timing may have been off, but I feel like that's turning around in the near future. So again, there's something here that kind of speaks to things balancing. That's what you're trying to get in this period in the month of October, is balancing out your emotions. I don't see that there's a lot of issue in around finances or anything like that. It just seems like there's a lot of rebalancing and a lot of concern over, you know, family matters and your stability for sure. You're not feeling like you have control over a situation. So again, it's not like you're having to face any big major arcana of emotional state. Although that does impact your world on a huge level. I find a lot of times when you're dealing with emotions, you know, if you constantly have to keep, you know, reining them in, you know, trying to get in contact with yourself, it's great because you do make progress. But again, the how do I say, but at the cost of the momentum that you lose in going forward. So we really have to talk us down faster so that we can keep moving in the direction of our goals, dreams, or whatever it is we're trying to, you know, make happen. Because like I said, this is rebalancing something that you felt has been a personal risk in some way. But either way, you're moving in the right direction. It's just also that card of, you know, where there wasn't a lot of meeting of the minds, you know, relationships and that kind of thing. I would say, and certainly relationship to yourself also counts in there. I would say that you are now starting to get a better sense of following your intuition. You're not going to let fear block your progress here because you're starting to open up. Six of Pentacles, there's a lot more give and take again from others, and there's still some help coming in there. It just feels like there's a lot more. There's a lot more that's for you, working for you than it is what I would say. And again, most of this I see is you kind of working against yourself is what I would say there, because your thoughts and your beliefs, you know, require, they need to be lined up and able for you to take responsibility for, you know, the things that you have control over. But again, if you're stuck in neutral and dealing, it's, you know, if you're stuck in neutral, you have to be able to process those emotions. And certainly it's better to understand only things that, you know, you bring to the table and what you can control. You can't control somebody else's thoughts. You can't make decisions for them. You can't, you know, you can't, but you're doing things in an ethical way. So let's just kind of stay at that point. You're doing things in an ethical way, and you're really relying on the inner self for that core strength. So you will triumph over whatever the situation was struggling with emotionally. Again, the Six of Pentacles is still a good card as far as, you know, getting some assistance, getting some help. It certainly is, again, still helping to balance out, you know, the whole situation here. So in terms of your finances, again, I feel like there is some degree of there. And again, that could be because there's the intervention of a third party. But there is, in terms of health, you know, more balance, more healing that's taking place there. Again, this is possible generosity coming in for, you know, from other people here, but there's more of a, just more of a sense of healing all around. And it could be healing through the generosity of others, you know, it doesn't have to be just finances, but time and energy, that kind of thing. So I feel like there are some stress related issues going on again with worry, strain, anxiety. And that's really where you're starting to heal, because there's something there that, needs attention, but I feel like it's not as bad as you think. So something around that. Um, but anyway, this is the other main card out, not a major arcana, but again, they're all sort of minor realities. But again, when you're going through it, it doesn't feel like a minor triviality. It feels like you're kind of stuck in, you know, slow motion going through all of the pains of the world, right? Especially when there's so many cards here of conflict and jealousy and argument and a painful end. And, you know, emotionally trying to process through all of that is still a challenge. Fives are a big shift. Death is the bigger shift, of course, and if it is a little further out, so you're still coming to terms with that, but you're in the space of the moon energy. That is your major arcana for this month. So it's really you reflecting on how to overcome a scenario. Again, we've got that Five of Wands energy here. So wands are about, working through something. It could be, something that you were thinking about in the spring here as well. But whatever it is, it's still a journey that's going to have to take you through to some kind of new perspective. So it is helping you to get moving with the Five of Wands, because it has to put you into the line of fire so that you can actually deal with it. But it is going to mean a period of uncertainty. It is going to need some kind of adjustment going on there. And it does mean you're going to have to steer yourself into some kind of new direction and able to get out of this train of thought. So again, there's action that needs to take place, mental shift, and there is a sense of rivalry. I don't feel like you're giving in, you're overcoming, but just there's easy triggers around family-oriented scenarios here. So something around your family happiness is becoming a bit of an issue. Again, somebody might feel threatened by you, or there's some obstacle that's in the way of a goal. But I just feel like you don't feel like you have enough time. Something's interfering with your family life or your family happiness. And again, some kind of a challenge there that you need to overcome. So maybe you feel like you are being attacked in some way, not physically, but, mentally sort of attacked in some way as well, because that's all sort of coming in around that type of energy. The other part of that is kind of juggling a little bit of the money, but again, I'm not really seeing it around the pentacles. It's more along the lines of your emotional happiness. That's where it seems to be imbalanced for you. So it's more of a feeling stressed out. Life seems like it's going too quickly. You need a break. You want to step back, and it is a good time for you to kind of create a game plan. So again, you've got a little bit of light coming, a little bit of a breakthrough with the moon card. So that's why it's important to sort of face that. Again, I'm going to just pull the other cards out here. So the Ten of Cups is still a card of, again, things kind of ending up on more of a happier note, a little further out, not in that energy quite yet, but it is going to make you feel like you are still in a good space. So, anything with the Ten of Cups does indicate that there is going to be more of a stronger foundation, feeling loved again. It's more of a permanent card for happiness and emotional harmony. You could throw in success in some way here too, financially, but either way, it's more of a safe and protected sort of feeling for this kind of energy. So again, you're in this current energy, but you're further out. This is all going to right itself, and all of that energy will just sort of fade away. It's because you're not dealing with the issue. It's because you are dealing with the issue. So, this is where you're focusing on your connections to kind of help you to improve and get a better outlook, and even with your health, there's a new sense of peace just around the corner here. And again, it's gratitude, it's fulfillment, the Ten of Cups. So it just feels like you're sort of being embraced by family, or you're feeling happier around those personal relationships, or those, love you the most. Okay, not last two cards, but we're pretty close. Okay, so Page of Swords. Now, there could be something of a communication that's coming in that kind of speaks to some options or something opening up to you. But the Page of Swords is that card of having its research, development, spying, it's all of that. But because it's in around the Seven of Cups, it's almost like you're getting clarity around the confusion, is what I would say here, given the other cards that have risen up here. The Page of Swords does have the ability to, you're using that intellectual mind. I'm not saying you're going deep probing space, because coming out as a page means it's just a little bit more information for you to work with. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could also figure prominently here, but it's like it could be a heart-to-heart talk with a child. It could be anything as well around, that there, I won't say full heart-to-heart talk, because there is confusion around that situation. So there seems to be confusion around a younger person where something seems off. And again, there's kind of a spying energy with that moon card, whether that's coming through with, this younger energy here. This is somebody who generally tends to really look at this in, a very analysis paralysis kind of way with this combination. So I would say there's a lot of mental energy in this month for you, and but you're looking at things in a clever way. Maybe there is some negotiation that needs to take place here, but I would say it's not even quite in that space yet, because there is more around the secret, I don't want to secrecy necessarily because you are getting some sense of understanding around the situation. But again, the Seven of Cups does indicate that there is more of a concern or need to speak more directly to someone. And again, it could be a young child or somebody who just has a really curious mind, because there's a lot around that seems to be a lot around that energy of, mental, a lot of mental energy here. Like I said, it's almost like you could be getting back on track with a little bit more clarity, but it's almost like there's a feeling of detachment as well with this, because seven is a card of trying to get some sense of order, and that's where I feel that you need to yourself, because you're not understanding a scenario here. And with that Seven of Swords energy, or Seven of Cups energy, it just feels like there's a lot that is still imbalanced. It's like you don't know really where to turn. You don't really know what is the best way to deal with the situation, how to fix it, something along that line. Because the Seven of Cups is, feeling like you either have too many options or you've lost focus in some way. So again, I do feel like there's a big decision coming, and you could be sort of toying with it at this point. Because again, it is followed with the other deck here saying that making a choice is what you need to be doing, or leading toward. But it's because there's so much sort of fantastical thinking here, not really seeing clearly. Your head's in the clouds, you're not thinking clearly, but this is you starting to think clearly. So again, I feel like just trust the process and trust your instincts here, because it's like you're going to come out of this, even though the energy is pretty heavy going to it in October. So again, I just feel like you are feeling like there might be, a little bit of lack of progress, or lack of understanding, or lack of, because there's almost too many distractions going on for you. And so it's confusing. You're having trouble making a choice, and so something might be right under your nose here, but you don't feel like you can quite see it, because there's just too much distraction. There's too much, going on in your head. But overall, I feel like you are still kind of moving in the right direction. Like I said, you're just vacillating here. You're not really sure what is the best, even though you have to make a decision. There might be some further information that comes in to clear this up, because the Page of Swords is here. So it's almost like there is a little bit of truth, like I said. Okay, Wheel of Fortune, big major arcana. This was the big one that came in for you. It is definitely Twist of Fate cycle that's could be even going out a little further into a year. Actually, maybe my moral card is more for that. But I would say time frame means that you're sort of moving into a space where things are going to start to change. So you have more of a connection to luck in this situation. Can be good or bad, but in this case, I would say it's good luck. I would say that, there's some kind of new method, new idea, something here around your resources that's starting to improve. There's a little bit more balance coming in. There's certainly things here that are getting you back on track, is what I would say there. And overall, I just feel like you're still sticking with tried, true, original, traditional methods, because the Queen is that card of, discovering something through the tangible things around them. It's not jumping in and out of a situation with high risk. And hi, Rubab. I will answer a few more questions here for sure, just almost at the end. And Samrat, hello. But again, there's something here about your belief systems and the way that you're going forward. There is forward movement here, but again, it's, if you were stuck in a rut, just know that that's moving. You're moving forward, but it's almost that sense of maybe the timing, like I said, wasn't quite right, or resources or something not have been used, well, but I just feel like you're bringing things back into line. It's like some kind of a turning point in your life. And it's a synchronistic, and so it's actually moving in the right direction. And again, there's just a lot of energy that speaks to where you were resistant to change, this is opening you up to be more of yourself, be more flexible, start to breathe again, start to move again. And it's, that energy of doing what's best for you is helping to advance you by taking solid, steady steps to get there. Even in terms of, your overall health, I would say that that is where you have those suppressed emotions, especially with the moon card and the seven, nine of swords. Like there's just a lot there that felt like you weren't facing something. Feels like that's going to change. And again, when we're at king and a queen, so things are starting to balance out even in a connection. Taurus might be relevant here as well, but a lot of good cards that are starting to kind of turn this around. Mature energy as well, for sure. But like I said, the King of Wands is actually moving, King of Wands. That is moving into a space of activity. So more taking control of your surroundings, of your life, of your decisions. And it is something is coming to a completion in a more positive. So just know that that because kings are about a closure of a cycle in some way. So you are starting to get into that, especially because these are clarifiers. This is going a little throughout into October and November, but it does feel like there's a little bit of tempers kind of flaring, but it's righting itself because of the practical maneuvers or practical measure taking. The steps that you're doing are starting to inspire you to kind of get going again. Again, there is still something here about a measure of wisdom because of the king and the queen here. So I feel like you are starting to reflect in that space now because there's more of a vision, there's more of a taking control. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy here also. And again, I just feel like things are overall improving, even in terms of work situations, even in terms of things that inspire you. There's more energy behind it. More get up and go. There's definitely more along the lines of innovation around a financial idea or something that will help you to improve the situation. But there's more self-expression as well to get what you want. You're creating new strategies in this period as well. So just a lot of really good cards of overcoming the challenge that you were faced with. And now it's just a matter of writing itself. So there's only a few cards out and then we'll do the questions. So this one is the Enchanted Map deck. I don't really use this one off a lot, so I might have to reflect on some of the cards here, guys. But anyway, this one is about you making a choice. And so it's required to make some kind of a decision now to kind of get yourself out of this headspace. It's a conscious choice about your next action. So it's, just a reminder that you have to take responsibility, not to be afraid. You don't have all the answers, but you still have to be able to move forward in a direction that is going to require you to trust your intuition. So you might be getting a sign here as well that you're on the right path. And it also speaks to, reminding yourself life is about the learning. So don't be afraid to learn. You have to learn through the things that you won't understand and the things that you don't know. It's really the only way to learn is to kind of face those fears. So again, your success will be in once you make a choice, to live or die, get better, improve, don't improve. Once you make the choice, that's when things start to bring about the things that you want. So again, despite whatever obstacles are in the way, you have to keep going forward. So the peaks of joy is exactly that your life is going to be filled with happiness and to share it with others because this is coming closer to you in this energy. It's closer than you think it is. It's something that, you're surrounded by, true blue people, like people that are good for you. And this is also about feeling a lot more hopeful, and there's a lot more joy coming in here. So that's what once you make the decision, that's what's opening up to you. And of course, the field of dreams. So that's definitely in that energy of, more prosperity. There's definitely something here that kind of speaks to going on to a path that has a lot more potential. It's in around the things that you garden, as they say, this is a garden. So it's whatever you have cultivated, whatever you put into your thought patterns, whatever you put your energy into, time and energy, whatever you're concentrating on. So in other words, be clear about your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, all of that, whatever you're sort of the seeds that you're sowing, that is what the garden is made up of. And that's where you can either be extraordinary or you can, create a weed-filled garden. So just measure of what you concentrate on. The card of the Talisman, that's a really good one too for, you know, really starting to build some luck around you. Your luck is in part wisdom, and this is really where you recognize things on the road where there's been some familiar things that you've been on, you know, where you're gathering up the information, you're able to share this, recognize your allies, and know the right things to do and the best choices to make because you've been on this path before. So this is the wisdom to make the right decisions. That is part of your gift. You know, the lessons you've learned help you to earn path to success. And just the last couple of cards out, which indicate cards of advice. Argue with respect. If both parties can remain respectful of one another during an argument, then the resolution will be something worth having. A serious argument can end in the destruction of a relationship, leaving devastation for both the defeated and the conqueror. An authentic victory is a victory over aggression, one that respects the enemy and renders further conflict unnecessary. So in the practical art of war, the best thing of all is to take the enemy's country whole, and to shatter and destroy it is not so good. So too, it is better to recapture an army entire than to destroy it. To capture a regiment, a detachment, or a company entire than to destroy them. So in other words, don't just enemy, just argue with some sense of negotiation. You don't want people fully defeated so that you have no sense of camaraderie at some point, right? So it's a victory over oneself really versus victory over another person, especially when you're trying to find a resolution with somebody. Offer an olive branch. Before you go to war over a trivial thing, consider the cost of doing so. Sun Tzu makes it very clear that war, even if successful, is costly. If you keep your temper, it's most likely that they will keep theirs. However, if a fight breaks out, keep your temper anyway. Fighting does not end fighting. Fighting is ended by making up. Give them an opportunity to stop the fight. Evolution, not revolution. Life is a long journey, but you will not travel on your own. Make plans for the short, medium, and long term. So your 1-year plan, your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, that kind of thing, and this below that will help you to achieve that. Ensure that the plans flow into each other like a stream, into a river, and into the ocean. Get the processes right, and the rewards will flow. Learn your lessons. Education begins on the first day of our lives and ends on the last. We learn something new every day, some of it planned, some of it unplanned, some of it useful, some of it irrelevant. We learn in different ways, by seeing, showing, by doing. Realizing how you learn is a skill. You can improve by trying the different methods. Okay, ready for a couple of questions here. So that's for Aries. Let's see. Okay, so I'll just try a few questions here. I'm going to try to get a couple of signs out there. Okay, Manav. Timing on tarot I find is really difficult, especially in a general read, but I would still say that we'll see if we can get if it's in the immediate energy anyway. So even though a job may present itself, I mean, it's still up to you to see if it's really something that you could take, so it might not be something that you want, or you realize that it's not whatever, but I'm just going to say the offer would certainly come through. Okay, so Manav, is there going to be a job in the immediate future for Manav? Sorry if I mispronounced that. Manav Pandya? Okay, will Manav have a job very soon? And my card just fell out. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to have to juggle this to get that card. Sorry, Manav. I don't have a high quality set here clearly. All right. So, okay. There's a little bit of push-pull on this situation. I'm going to say you do have a decision to make. So it's almost like you are currently stuck for sure. I do feel like there is going to be some kind of options that you will have up ahead, but there's certainly a level of confusion around it right now. It's almost like you don't really know the direction that the direction to take. Absolutely. Because the Seven of Cups is also that energy of, I could have options, but I'm just not sure which direction I want to go here. And so it's almost like it's a little bit on you as far as what's available. So I don't feel like you have nothing available. It's almost like, is it something that you really want to do, is kind of what I hear. It's almost like you're sort of vacillating between, is it good enough? Should I take it? Like, you know what I mean? Should I go in this direction? Because I feel like you're not seeing that something might be the best option or the best opportunity for you. So something around that. I mean, it looks like you have a decision. There's going to be something that's coming in. Let's just see what that Three of Pentacles is. What's the Three of Pentacles? What's the Three of Pentacles? Okay, yeah, it feels like you do have something coming in, and it's almost like it could be a couple of things, actually, because the Chariot indicates that, you know, maybe it's in around a vehicle situation, I don't know, but the Chariot does indicate that there's also a decision here as well. So you, I do feel, have something coming in here up ahead, not too far out, I would say, because you get a couple of cards that speak to a decision. The only thing I would say, though, is that it's almost like you just don't know what is the better option here. So again, there's vacillating, but it feels like it's on you to make that decision. So in terms of work, I feel like, you know, if you were, it almost feels like one job is either going to require you to level up to something that might be a little bit beyond your reach, or it is going to require more of you, you know, in terms of learning or more material or something like that. Because the Three of Pentacles is, it's like a collaborative sort of effort. So it's definitely like a combined thing, but it's also a combined things to move it ahead in a better position. So what I mean by that is that it might test you a little bit in this new direction. You know, it feels like you have to take a little bit more learning or something like that, or coordinate with other people and able to get it to this level. And for one of the jobs here, because like I said, the choice with the Three of Pentacles means that it's going to be a little bit more advanced than what you were previously doing. But again, it's a good, you know, job, I would say, or career or whatever it is. It feels like it's almost like either a promotion or something better than what you'd done before, but it's going to require a little bit more involvement on your part to sort of bring to that stage. But it feels like you have more than one option, but it just feels like two, you're kind of just whatever this other opportunity, this one opportunity that's coming in is the one I feel like you have the most consideration for, but you're a little not sure about whether or not you should take it. Anyway, you see there. And rhubarb. A deal, no contact. Will a deal be in contact with rhubarb? Will a deal be in contact with rhubarb? Will a deal be contact with rhubarb anytime soon? Kind of a mixed bag there. Okay, so first off, it looks like, yes, there's still some sense of possible unity there. I would still say you're still bonded in some way. Like this connection is still, I would say, a little bit viable for sure. But the reason why I'm reluctant is because of the Eight of Swords, obviously. The Eight of Swords tells me that either you or someone else is sabotaging the connection. So despite there being emotionally, you know, the emotions are there, and someone would want to communicate with you, and that relationship does sort of speak to, you know, it does speak to being kind of bound to one another or feeling complete, or it's a pretty good partnership here. And I definitely feel like there's some emotional that is around this situation, you know, but there's also some here that is kind of speaking to things are definitely off balance with the Eight of Swords, but there's distance here with the Eight of Swords. But if somebody's deliberately self-sabotaging it, it's almost like that, even though there's a strong connection in some emotional way, I would say there's going to be some kind of a communication, either where this is you or somebody, you know, else kind of in some way. I just feel like it gets kind of squashed with the swords. So I feel like there will be a communication, you know, a reach out, but then there is an immediate shutdown with that communication. Because even though there is a lot of, you know, still strong emotions here, the Eight of Swords is kind of working against you right now. So I would say you're restricted in some way. There's still some triggers. There's still some self-deception. There's still some fear that is kind of binding someone. And again, it's creating a little bit of a mental prison of sorts. You know, you got to kind of find your way out of that situation. That offer is real. So there's frustration at work here, and I feel like there's blockages and there's distance for sure. So I just feel like that's not going to change in the immediate, even though I do feel like there's kind of a communication. But it's a restricted communication, and you know, somebody feels alone or uninvolved, doesn't feel like it's a productive relationship because you're kind of holding yourself back, or somebody's holding themselves back. Okay, and what else do we have here? I don't see the marriage card coming out yet, Rhubarb. I would say that's going to be a little bit of time yet, because even though there might be a communication, there's other stuff that has to work through there. There's good energy as far as you know, some balance in that connection emotionally, but there's also a lot of distance to, I would say you're going to have to deal with something, or somebody's going to have to deal with something first there. What is the best advice, or maybe not advice, but what is, because even though there's going to be communication, what will be the outcome of that communication? Like, what will happen in the communication between Rabab and Adil? Yeah, it's a letdown. It'll be a disappointment. Yep. So even though the communication is going to come in, you're not going to be satisfied with what's being presented. It just feels like you're going to have to kind of wait it out. I don't know what the issue is specifically, but I know that it's not going to be something you want to hear. You know, it feels like somebody's turning away. There's got to be some kind of emotional shift in the other person. Let's just try that too, because oh yeah, and the tower's at the bottom. So, oof. There's definitely got to be something going on there. Emotionally, okay, what is the tower? What is the tower? Even though that wasn't directly coming in, but it doesn't, like, could be an argument of some sort, but the tower's pretty big usually. Okay, what's going on with the deal emotionally? What's going on with the deal emotionally? Probably the better one. What's going on with the deal emotionally? What's the Seven of Pentacles? Why would it be happy? What's the Nine of Cups? What is the King of Swords? Okay, I don't know why, but I'm seeing Libra, Gemini, Aquarius coming out here. There's been harsh words. There's been some drama verbally. I would say that, I don't know why, but money's coming out here quite a bit. And there's some kind of a new passionate start or something that's kind of pending. It's not really out there yet, but it could be another chance with this person. But it feels like money somehow is a factor. I don't know if that's how that correlates to you. I don't know, but something about, you know, wish fulfillment is coming in either for you or them. But there's something here around money, and somebody's back on top with a job or something here that helps them to feel like they can start planning again. So maybe it was in around finances. I don't know, but I just feel like there's something about wish fulfillment coming in here, but there's been really harsh words. You're going to have to wait this one out here, because there's a lot of cards of pause. The fulfillment is here, but it is somehow contingent with this person who has money. It's contingent on them, and it feels like there's a wait before this new starts. So there's something there that they're kind of planting seeds before anything goes forward. That is not happening right away for sure. It's almost like they're preoccupied with the finance part of things right now. That's where things are at. So I'm not seeing marriage yet. Samrat, when Sakshi, when will Sakshi commit? When will Sakshi commit to Samrat? When will Sakshi commit to Samrat? Or will there be commitment to Samrat? Oh, okay. I'm not seeing that yet. I feel like there's still a lot of things bouncing around here. The fact that I see the heartbreak card out here, it just feels like maybe there's third party. I don't know, but it's almost like in some kind of heartbreak that is kind of pulling this away. Why the Two of Pentacles? So it's almost like something's kind of gone back and forth. Why the Two of Pentacles? Could be Libra energy here, air sign as well. Libra, Aries, or sorry, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And why the Chariot? Oh, sorry, dropped my card again. Okay, there's somebody that wants to go off in a new direction. I don't know if this is you or them, but I suspect that they're kind of dealing with some heartbreak, or or there's heartbreak around. I feel like they want to move in a different direction. I don't know that I see commitment in any stretch here. The Justice card can be some form of commitment, but I don't know. It's not looking that way because I'm seeing it follow up with the Chariot and the Fool. So Chariot usually means they're making another decision here to kind of, I don't know, maybe try something else or try a different direction or something here. But I don't know that I really see that as, or it could be, I mean, let me pull one more card because there is still the chance that this is, you know, that they want to go forward. It can be that they want to go forward, but it just doesn't feel like they're focusing on the relationship. You know, maybe the fast fling or something like that emotionally, because the Fool is kind of like the Chariot's more of an aggressive kind of energy to kind of jump into something, not really focused on romance, or they're just like they're being silly, you know, like they because it's not a sense of commitment. The Fool card is not commitment at all. It's, you know, it's not somebody, they're too restless. You can't pin this person down. It's like they live in the now. They're not accepting a relationship at this time. They're kind of shutting it off. But the fact that I see the Justice card out here is what might be in your favor. But again, it just feels like that's really quite where things are at because of those other cards. Like I said, it's, you know, it can also be a cycle of a relationship that's kind of beginning and ending. Because it'd be divorce or separation. And they're maybe not quite in that energy there yet, but it's like it's not really quite going, I would say, in your favor because they're not committing fully. Two of Pentacles is, I'm not committing fully. And, you know, this one, to me, if it is, you know, a contract, the contract is kind of made to be broken. They're not going to connect here, at least not right now, anyway. Okay, Asritha. When will Asritha get a job? When will Asritha get a job? When will, or is there a new job coming in, Asritha? Is there a new job coming in for Asritha? Is there a new job coming in for Asritha? I would say yes, and I think you're going to hear communication here pretty rapidly. You have to kind of push through a little bit longer here. But it definitely feels like there is some kind of, you know, movement towards you on that front. Knight of Wands is still that energy of like a communication. I don't feel like you're quite in the energy of getting it though, but it's rapidly developing in that direction. So I would say that because that Knight of Wands is also with the King of Wands, could be dealing with a mature person here as well, but you know that you get this connection, you know, about, but it could be sort of travel related work here as well, or a fair amount of distance or something with it. And again, because I see the King of Wands out here too, I feel like you could be dealing with somebody, you know, around that energy there as well. But Strength card, like I said, that I feel like you just kind of have to push through some of this here a little bit longer. It just doesn't feel like you're quite in the energy of it, but there is communication and advancement toward it. Definitely still feel like this is... feels like there is something passionate that you enjoy to do with this work. That's the kind of job I would say you're getting into. So it's pretty close to you, but you're just not quite in it yet. And the business prospects are going to improve for sure. So hopefully it gave a bit. And hello, Karen. What is coming toward Artie in the coming future? What is coming toward Artie in the coming future? What is coming toward Artie in the coming future? What's the King of Swords? What's the Five of Wands? What's the World? Oops, sorry guys. What's the World? What's the Ace of Wands? Okay, it's almost like there's been a little bit of challenge for sure in around whatever Artie has been going through. On the work front, for sure, I would say there's definitely something here around the work front that is kind of a big deal. I'm going to start off with just these two here first. So the Ace of Wands, I mean, there's could be a passion project, something that they really enjoy to do, but it's a new beginning or some promise of a job potentially is what I would say there. I definitely feel like Ace of Wands, you know, there is something that's going to spark the person, you know, spark her imagination to kind of come up with an idea. And I feel like because it's the Nine of Wands, it's almost like it's in the energy, you know, he's in the energy of getting a new job or getting something, you know, whether it's a manuscript sold or some new chapter begins here with the Ace of Wands. But it's a powerful beginning. Could be even in terms of a love situation, but I would say that this seems to be more around the money front, practical steps, that kind of. So I'm seeing either some kind of a new job, new birth of an idea, or something of a new start, you know, promotion, anything like that. But it's more of an enthusiastic kind of start. It is followed up by the Nine of Wands, so it's definitely action toward it, moving pretty quickly here. Just persevere through the uncertainty is really what I would say there. This is somebody who's really ambitious, I would definitely say, and there's lots of cards that kind of support that here. But it's almost like, you know, there's something here that you just have to, or he has to push through. I'm assuming he's a he, Artie, but something that needs to be pushed through before it really gets there. So it's almost like there's more information that's needed. The World card tells me that there might have been some kind of a cycle where there's been a lot of toxicity and probably a work situation, I would say, because of the Five of Wands and the Devil energy here. I just feel like that cycle is closing up. There is a lot of toxicity that kind of went with that. It was not a good situation. The World card is telling me it's pretty much wrapping up. Doesn't mean there's, you know, it's a whole new situation that's coming in here. It's a whole new situation that's coming in here with the World card. So lessons learned, you know, there's a huge transition of some sort in terms of, you know, success and that kind of thing. It's like, again, if there's been a successful completion of something here with the Devil. So again, I feel like it's somebody that was really drawing on or somehow impeding the progress of Artie. So I feel like this is going to be changing pretty quickly here. The Five of Wands, it feels like there's a lot of unhealthy competition, or perhaps the competition is around things that they want to do. Lots of energy around the wands, so there's probably a little bit of anger or issues around that, around the money. The money is coming in, but it's slow to get there. but I feel like that he's in the range of getting it. There's going to be some kind of new start or new idea that comes through, and it is going to be a good one. It'll be profitable, but it's almost like you need a little more information, or he needs a little more information before it really sort of pans out. But Knight of Pentacles is that traditional responsible person, but again, there's a lot of energy around the money, I would say, where there's been some levels of heavy worry or concern, because again, that's a toxic card. So it just feels like it's been a hard cycle to kind of complete, to get into. So I do feel like there is a job, like I said, or an idea or something coming up, but the money will be a bit slow. It's not even in this read yet. It's just further out. But the King of Swords could also indicate that you are dealing with, or will be dealing with, somebody who could be contractual, or something dealing with, the law, or something dealing with a lot of paperwork, that kind of thing, because King of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy, but usually deals with, people in a really direct way. A king is a mature person, doesn't like to mince words, is somebody who's really direct. This is somebody who tends to, have a really high sense of self and goals. Things have to be met a particular way. They can't, they wouldn't be, it's really high standards and very controlling kind of energy here too. So again, could be, I feel this is somebody who's quite rational and emotionally detached, with that energy for sure. I just feel like could be dealing with establishing something around, like I said, I don't know if there's just lots of paperwork, or really, a position where there's, legal, judge, physician, intellect, high intellect sort of positions. It's things like that, and of course, coming in as a page though, so there is communication, I feel, but again, there's so to get to the money, and the Page of Pentacles tells me that it's also, almost like the energy of the money is kind of coming in spits and spurts, or in a small amount. The commitment here to the goal and self-improvement, but it's almost like there's a bit of education or something that's going to be required for whatever this is. I see education up ahead, something along that line. So again, expect some messages, some negotiations possibly in whatever the situation is here, but it's good news still. But I just feel like there's been a lot of toxicity and a lot of battles in around some particular area of this person's life. So I don't know what that is for you, but I would say that this person's really had a hard time of it. Again, could be drugs, alcohol, depression, anything like that. I don't really see a lot of the depression and all that, but I do definitely see that, there's been some maybe risky behavior. I don't know, but whatever that devil energy is, it's just been really hard to kind of relinquish control, because there's been a lot of challenge around something here. Anyway, that's what I have there, but I do feel a job or something here of ideas coming in. Okay, last question. Ashma? You're welcome, Karen. Sorry, just reading. Asma, you wanted he's going to come back? Okay, let's see. Is there someone that... Okay. Asma will, whoever it is, come back to Asma. No, I don't really, that's the case. The cards out here show me that someone's holding back feelings. I feel like there's, a bit of a crossroads. Emotionally, I'm not seeing a lot of, not a lot of openness, that's for sure. I would say not right now for sure, because like I said, the Hangman, somebody could be feeling pressured, trapped. They're holding back, 2 cards of holding back. It's also kind of, somebody's having to change their mindset about you or something here. but it's definitely that energy around. So something is not really going forward here. I just feel like there's also a sense of, like I said, holding back the emotions deliberately. Um, and there's not even like, it's not even, it's pentacles. So it's almost like there's a sense of detachment there, clinging to what's familiar, but it's also, this person feels to me that they'd be repeating a pattern. So, they feel like there's a deep-seated problem that hasn't worked for some time, possibly, but it's something here about something not working for a period of time. The Three of Pentacles, like I said, still, even though that card generally is around something kind of coordinating and working together, it's halted because of all of this other energy here. So something's not really moving in the right direction. I would say romantically, it's possibly that somebody needs to mature here because it's not, or a past problem has not been resolved. It's something along that line where there's definitely something here where there's some differences that need to be worked. That's what I would say there. Draco, I don't want to do a big reading on things because I just don't have time for everything. But I will always ask or, answer a question. And I'm going to probably head out onto the next sign here pretty soon. But if you have something, throw it up there quick before I head out, because I'm going to do the other sign here too. But anyway, I just want to say thank you guys for keep moving forward and never give up. Like I said, there's some things here for Aries to kind of work through for sure in this month of October, but some good cards here too. So just keep in mind some of the advice there. Anyway, until next time.